Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Rick from Only Football. We have got another episode of Only Football coming to you guys tonight. We are starting off with the Week 18 predictions. Then we're moving on to our top five, and then we're going to finish off with choke or no joke. Stay tuned. Kyle,
welcome. Welcome to Only Football. I'm Kyle, and who are you?
I have no idea. I'm Rick.
He's just happy to be here.
What's up? We got the Hydroxycut energy and weight loss. Let's fucking
and
go,
weight
Kyle.
loss, and like we're giving news, we're reporting stories, we're making segs, and we're losing weight.
We're making what?
Segments.
Oh, okay. Jesus Christ, you scared the shit out of me.
All right, so we're gonna go in the order of the football games. So obviously we have to mention there's some flux, there's a little room for error in this. We don't know exactly what's gonna be the response from the NFL after the tragic news, and we're still praying for Hamlin, and our thoughts and prayers are with the family. So we're gonna just have to do the best we can with the information we got right now. So there's going to be no Thursday night football because next week or the week after this week of games is the playoffs. So they don't want to give any advantages, no 10 days of rest. All the games are going to be played on Sunday. So there's no
Saturday.
And Saturday.
2 games on Saturday, yep.
And I don't believe there's any Monday night football.
No Monday night football either, nope.
Okay, so maybe a little advantage for the teams playing Saturday.
Maybe.
We'll look at those and see if they're even playoff teams. I think there's a couple.
Yep.
Yeah, the Jaguars and Titans.
Yeah.
So maybe one day rest a little bit more. So let's get to the Saturday games.
First one we have for Saturday is going to be Chiefs at Raiders. Chiefs at Raiders. Patty Mahomes is probably not starting. What are your thoughts on this? Because there's still a possibility for a number 1 seed for the Chiefs.
Yeah,
technically.
So yeah,
so
obviously,
what do you do in this situation?
That was kind of the big result of the Bengals and the Bills game that didn't play out. So there are some question marks about seeding because the Bengals, the Bills, and the Chiefs were all kind of in that hunt. If the Bengals beat the Bills, they would have been 13-3 as well.
Yep.
Or no, they would have both been 12-4.
Yes.
So the Chiefs, I believe, currently are in the number 1 seed. Now, the question is, do you play your starters? Well, are you asking like, would I, or do I think Andy Reid will? Because those are 2 different.
So I think if we can answer it in 2 parts, if I would do it, I would want the number 1 seed. I would want that extra week of rest. What do you think Andy Reid's doing? Do you think Andy Reid is putting in? I don't know. God, I don't even know who the backup for Mahomes is. Is it like?
Maybe.
Actually, I gotta look this up now because I have no idea who it is.
We've never seen that guy.
No,
thankfully. Actually, last year, I believe Patrick Mahomes dislocated his knee on a QB sneak at a game in Denver, but he was only out for 4 weeks.
Okay.
So we did see him a little bit. I believe if that wasn't last year, that was the year before. So anyway, I think the Chiefs.
Chad Henne.
Oh, that's a name to remember.
Oh my God.
It's a name to remember though. Chad Henne. I feel like he's like 47.
He's got to be at least 53 years old.
Yeah.
Up fucking,
I remember him at the
Chiefs.
Jets, I think I remember him as a Jet starter.
Was he?
I think
so. No.
Oh, I'm
Was
thinking of Pennington, maybe Chad
Now I
Pennington.
gotta figure out where Chad Henne has been.
Yeah. Let's do a deep dive
We're
on
doing a deep dive on
Chad
Chad Henne
Henne.
right now. I don't know why or what. I just feel like we need to do a deep dive on Chad Henne.
Like, when did he get drafted?
Yeah, let's see.
1985.
1985 is when he got drafted.
Okay,
I'm just
so
kidding.
he's 37.
I need to get his like Wikipedia. Okay, we're going into Chad Henne's Wikipedia because he needs to. Okay, drafted by the Dolphins in the second round of the 08 draft, 2008. He spent his rookie season on the bench, backing up Chad Pennington. Played for the Dolphins from 2008 to 2011, the Jaguars from 2012 to 2017, and the Chiefs from 2018 to now. So that's what we got with Chad Henne. And we got Tyler here in the comments. Yo, what's up, Tyler? I'll give you a quick cheers. Cheers to Tyler.
Cheers to Tyler. So Patrick Mahomes is going to end up playing on Saturday because they're still playing for the number 1 seed. If that was a lock, I don't think you would see the starters. I'm almost certain you wouldn't.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
The first seed is so important, and Kansas City takes it really serious. Patrick Mahomes has never played an away playoff game in his career.
Really?
Ever.
Holy shit.
Every playoff
I
game
had no idea
that Mahomes has played in has been at Arrowhead, and you've seen, for the most part, good results.
Right, yeah.
We got a Super Bowl win against Tampa Bay with him, or not Tampa Bay. Who did they beat? San Francisco.
San Francisco.
He was the Super Bowl MVP. Then they
Yep.
went to the Super Bowl the next year against Tampa. Then they lost with the Bengals. But so far, if he can make his way back to the Super Bowl, that's 3 Super Bowls in 4
Nice.
years. That's pretty damn good. 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. That's Tom Brady-esque. I'm just going to say that.
He needs to get a second one, though. Second one.
Yeah, he does need to get a second one. But I think the track history or the track record shows that they care about the number 1 seed, and you will see Kansas City playing, I think, their best football. They're going to, hopefully, if you're a Chiefs fan, I could see this game being like 28-3 at half.
Oh, really?
And the starters resting and feeling really good about, because it's playoff time.
Yeah.
It's a different energy in the area. I mean, Jared Stidham surprised a lot of people last week.
He did.
Can he do it again? I don't think so. I think the fact that he did that last week is just kind of, I'm going to call it a fluke, because the 49ers,
oh yeah,
their defense is the real deal. They had a bad day at the office, and they were still able to win.
You're going to have games like that too as a defense.
Exactly. So, yeah, Chiefs are going to play their starters. I think they're going to get up early in the game, and hopefully by the end of the third quarter, you won't see Patrick Mahomes on the field. So they'll lock up the first seed.
So you're taking Chiefs in this one, right?
I'm taking the Chiefs. The only thing is they don't play as well on the road. So that is something to keep an eye on. If this was an Arrowhead, damn it. I'm not going to lie. I thought this was an Arrowhead this whole time. Yeah. This game might be tighter than I thought. I was thinking
so tight.
It's so tight. I think this one could be a little bit closer, but I'm taking the Chiefs. Like, they're playing for something.
Yeah, and I think I'm going with the Chiefs as well. Jarrett Stidham is starting again, right? Derek Carr, the whole exit from like 2 weeks ago, and Jarrett Stidham starting, like that thing is affecting the Raiders as a team, I think. And yes, they put up 34 points or whatever last week against the Niners, like you said. But I think, again, like you said, it was a flash in the pan. There's really nothing happening there with Jarrett Stidham and the Raiders team. I'm going to have to go Chiefs as well. And I don't really think there's any way about it. Like you said, they might start him in the first half. There has been no news about any starters sitting or not starting, whatever the case may be. So if starters start and they just play a half of the Chiefs football is probably enough for the entire game. So I'm going Chiefs as well.
Let me ask you this. So the I think it was 3 or 4 weeks ago now, the Chiefs they went up 27-0 against Denver, right? And Denver ended up, by the beginning of the third quarter, it was 21-27. It was a 6-point game.
Okay.
So they gave Denver a chance to get back in the game. Then the next week they go to overtime against Houston. Then they finally go back home and they had that convincing win over the Seahawks.
Yep.
And then they go back to then Denver plays them last week. They probably could have won that game.
They only lost by 3.
There
right?
was a bogus pass interference call. I
Mhm.
mean, it was the worst call. If you haven't seen it, look up Cortland Sutton's pass interference. But my point is, do you think that this Chiefs team is the best team in the AFC? Because I have my doubts about them. I know they keep finding ways to win, and you
Yeah.
can't rule out a team that finds a way to win with the greatest quarterback in the world.
Mhm.
You just can't do it. But if I had to pick a team to make the Super Bowl, I do have to ask the question, is it being played in Arrowhead? Because if it's not, I don't have the Chiefs making the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
If it runs through Arrowhead, I think I do.
Probably.
So this is a huge game.
I think it's a huge game. Are they the best team in the AFC?
Could they beat the Bills?
I don't think they could beat the Bills. Although it's like tough to tell because I think like look, the Chiefs have a Super Bowl win. They've been in the playoffs more times than the Bills, maybe by
Yeah,
one,
experience.
right? You have the experience, you've got the championship. Mahomes knows what to do when he gets there. This team will know what to do when they get there. But let's not forget, right? The Bills were in the playoffs last year. They've been playing at a very high level, and they're going to play at a high level throughout the playoffs, no matter what.
Absolutely. Josh Allen did not choke in the playoffs.
No.
He gave
not
us
at
the
all.
greatest playoff game of all time.
Yes, that was a great game. I can't say with certainty that the Bills or the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC, but if it runs through Arrowhead, that's going to be really
They're going to
tough.
be favorited every game. I think
so.
if they run through Arrowhead.
I think so.
And good reason for it. Arrowhead's it's a real home field advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And Buffalo is too. So
I
really think like if Chiefs and Bills play,
mm-hmm.
I would say it's going to be for spread, it's going to be +3, whoever's at home. If the Bills are at home, you go +3 Bills or -3, and then vice versa for the Chiefs. But it's so refreshing to not have a year where, the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the NFC because this is a lock.
Yeah,
we got 3 teams that, the Bengals never lost to Mahomes. Like Joe Burrow is his kryptonite.
That's true.
And then you got Buffalo, who won on that game that was insane. And then they played this season, and it's another nail-biter 3-point game.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of leaves you – I mean, that's what you want when you go into the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
You want a couple of wild cards that have the potential to go really deep, and then you want 3 teams that you could go either way. So I think we're, as football fans, set up for a really, really good AFC playoff matches coming up. But that's what makes this Raiders game so crucial. Is it definitely has a ripple effect on who will be in the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, for sure. Next game up on the only other Saturday game is going to be the game that decides the AFC South. Didn't think I would be here saying this or even having to decide who would win this, because coming into this year, we said the Colts are going to take this. The Colts suck.
Yeah.
The Colts took the biggest drop off I think we expected, right? So AFC South, Titans at Jags. Jaguars are at home. Jaguars have been playing pretty well as of recently. I forget who they blew out the other day. Last week.
Last week they beat Houston.
Houston? Oh yeah. Okay.
After Houston had beaten them 9 in a row up to that point.
Yep. So Titans at Jags. This is for the crown, and this is for the number 4 seed.
Yeah. This is when the playoffs start.
Exactly.
It starts on Saturday night. The first game Saturday gives us an idea of how the playoffs are going to go. Then Saturday night, the playoffs are on.
Yep.
I mean, this is playoff football. And I said in the beginning, in the preseason when we did our predictions, whoever has a better running team between the Colts and Tennessee would win. Jonathan Taylor versus Derrick Henry, because I really thought that was going to be the identity. You can't predict the injuries, and Derrick Henry didn't even play the last couple of games. It's been a complete shit show in the AFC for the most part.
Oh yeah.
But let me just sum this up in one word. Duval.
So we know where Kyle's gone.
Let me also say, for a really extreme bold prediction, and I love I'm drawing a blank on Titans head coach.
Vrabel?
Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love his. Did you see that reporter asked him the other day that question? He was like, "That's a horribly long, terrible question." He's
I
like,
didn't see that.
"Oh, it's
No.
awesome."
I didn't see that.
Vrabel's the real deal,
Yeah.
and he's going to keep competitive teams on the field. But we saw when the Colts drafted Peyton Manning the first year, he led the record in interceptions, but a rookie.
Mhm.
And then the next year, the Colts make the playoffs, and the rest is history.
Yep.
This is happening in front of our eyes, and the Jaguars will not look back. And this is the bold prediction: they will win the AFC South for the next decade.
The Colts?
No,
I'm sorry.
the
You said the
Jaguars.
Jags. Sorry.
With Trevor Lawrence at the helm.
Wow.
This
decade?
is a new era where if you're having kids in the next 5 years, they will not know that the Jaguars were ever a bad team.
Wow.
Just like
Wow.
babies born in 2001 had no idea that the Colts were trash.
Yeah, or the Patriots.
Or the Patriots.
Yeah.
So welcome to the new era, and it officially begins Saturday night.
And I mean, Trevor Lawrence was a guy during the draft where, what was it, Mel Kiper has only had someone as high as he had Trevor Lawrence as like Peyton Manning and like
Manning, Andrew Luck, John Elway.
John Elway. So those three
Two
guys.
Broncos.
Peyton was a Colt. But look, we get it. He won a Super Bowl. Boom,
I think the
boom.
Super Bowl 50 champions has something to say.
No, I don't get it.
You know, he still lives in Denver. All right, go on.
And yeah, I will say that the Jaguars are turning a new page. They're beginning to be this team that is now looking like, wow, they're looking really good. They're actually looking like they can do something, and they proved it this year.
Yeah.
All year, I feel like the AFC South was kind of like in limbo because you never knew if it was like the Titans or the Jags. And honestly, it was more like probably the Titans.
Yeah.
It's probably the Titans, right?
Especially because they started like 5-6-2.
Yeah, exactly. So they look good in early season, all through midseason. We're like, wow, the Titans are probably going to win this, right? No shot. Now it's the Jags. I'm thinking the Jags too. I think it's over.
Yeah.
I think it's over for Tannehill. I think it's over for the Titans, I guess, reign of the last 3-4 seasons, right, of winning the South. It's over. They're just not a good team, and the Jags are just going to be the better team this week. They're going to win it, and like you said, I can see their success stretch over the next decade. I don't want to say it's going to be AFC South championship from 2023 to 2033.
There might be one. It would be like the Colts in the AFC South.
I would say that they're going to be in the playoffs for the next decade, probably. More than likely, I would say decade playoffs, but I wouldn't say division.
The last thing I'll say about it is, isn't it crazy?
No.
The opportunity that Urban Meyer pissed away.
Yeah.
I mean, Doug Peterson has just proved. I mean, when we saw last year, right, there was conversations when this year started, like, is Justin Fields the greatest quarterback out of that draft, that heavy draft class?
Yeah.
And I was on board with it. You know, I was like, you know,
early in the season,
I was like, he might be. And then Trevor Lawrence really just, you can just see the game has slowed down. He is like, he's got no problem throwing 3 TDs in the fourth quarter if that's what it takes. Like, he's just, and, you know, for Doug Peterson, this is a tremendous opportunity because he's pretty much, as long as Trevor Lawrence plays at a high level, he's kind of locked up the next 10 years. He's like our modern day Tony Dungy. You know, if you think about Manning's success, it was always Tony Dungy.
Mm-hmm.
And then 10 years from now, you know, Doug Peterson's going to be cemented as people are going to have to do like some research to even remember that he took Philly to the Super Bowl
and won.
Yeah. You know, the fact that he was available on the job market is just,
it is kind of insane. And the fact that the Jags went with Urban Meyer before they even talked to him.
Yeah.
And
what
now they
if
realize
Jacksonville played Philly in the Super Bowl? Doug Peterson.
Oh my
playing
God.
His old team.
What a storyline that would be.
There's
so many
storylines.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's so many that could happen that would be like insane.
What if the Vikings played Buffalo in the Super Bowl? The Dalvin Cook brothers.
And Frazier, the defensive coordinator for the Bills, was a head coach of the Vikings at one point too.
Wow.
Leslie Frazier.
We're going to do a segment where we just break down the fun games.
Every possible storyline in there. All right, let's move on to Sunday. We'll move into the AM games on Sunday. The first one up, we've got the Bucs going to Atlanta, taking on the Falcons. At this point, the Bucs have already clinched the division. They are NFC South champs. Falcons, yeah, they're playing football. They're definitely playing football.
They are playing football.
I don't know if I highly doubt Tom Brady starts, although I feel like he may start a couple series, maybe a quarter or two,
Yeah.
and then just kind of take a seat from there. But the Bucs don't really have anything to play for. They are the number 4 seed. They are nowhere near the number 1 seed. There's no possible scenarios in which they lose the playoff spot. So do the Falcons take it at home, or do the Bucs kind of spoil their last home game of the season?
I'm going to take the Bucs, and I'm going to take the Bucs because in a normal world, when you have nothing to gain and nothing to lose, you don't play anyone week 18. But we saw this Bucs team that had no identity throughout the year. I mean, they were running the ball. They weren't doing it effectively. They couldn't throw the ball. Mike Evans wasn't doing his normal thing. It was like, what are we watching? And we were just waiting for something to click. And I kept taking the Bucs because you never know when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it
you kept taking the Bucs, and I'm like, no thanks.
Well, then you get Mike Evans with 48 fantasy points. He scores 3 TDs.
200 yards.
It's almost like they just said, hey, like, we have nothing to lose. If we lose to Carolina, we're out of the playoffs. So, like, let's just let it rip and see what happens.
Yeah.
And you saw some glimpses of what we were accustomed to seeing the last 2 years. So I think in order to really cement that, you have to start your players going next week, right? Like, or it's just a fluke. You know, if they can, and Atlanta's a shitty enough team where this could be like a tune-up game, where it's like, okay, we beat Carolina and we did it doing this style of offense we haven't played all year. Yeah. And then we beat Atlanta. We beat the piss out of them.
Yeah.
You know,
it's like those week ones in college football.
Oh yeah, Appalachian State versus Alabama.
Them. Yeah.
It's a tune-up game. It's like the longest yard when they were like, that was supposed to be a tune-up game for the guards, and they got beat by
the guards
by the convicts. Go convicts. But yeah, I think in a normal world, you wouldn't play your starters, but the scenario Tampa finds themselves, I think it's crucial. If they're serious about winning a Super Bowl, they get some momentum going, or they're going to be one and done. And we all know it.
And I could totally see that, by the way. I mean, I got the Bucs too. I don't think even with backups in, I don't know if the Falcons are good enough to beat the Bucs, although, again, crazier things have happened this year, right? I would also agree with that. I would say put in Tom Brady, put in Mike Evans to kind of, again, get that traction, get that momentum going into the playoffs, into what is it? They would play the number 5 seed, whoever that is right now. For the
they NFC. Would play Dallas.
Okay, so it would be, number 5 seed is Dallas.
You better get used to airing it out.
Yep, so it would be Dallas. So I would agree with you, but looking at this team, and again, this is Tom Brady in the playoffs. Tom Brady steps it the fuck up when it comes to the playoffs. Realistically, they may play a series or two or a quarter or two, and then they might just sit. Because, again, not Todd Bowles, but who's that? Todd Bowles is the head coach, or he's the offensive coordinator?
He's the head coach.
Okay, so then Todd Bowles knows who he has in Tom Brady.
Yeah.
They can build off last week. They can go into the playoffs. They can go into this game and really not necessarily have to play them all game. I think I got the Bucs taking it. The Falcons aren't that good. Again, they're towards the end of the season. They're going to spoil their last game at home by losing to the Bucs. So I don't know. Realistically, I think that's what's going to happen, but I would lean more towards starting them for the entire game as a tune-up game before the playoffs.
Totally agree with everything you said. Our next game is a playoff game, and this is one of those TBDs, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Like, I have no idea if it's even worth, talking about the game, because it's the Patriots at Bills, and there's just been no word to come out of Buffalo. So exactly. What do you think?
If they play,
do you think they would play that one, or they would go to
the Bengals game?
The Bengals game.
I don't know, man, because so far there has not been any word or update on the game itself. Obviously, there's still a lot of questions as to what's happening with Damar Hamlin right now. Which, by the way, he's in a somewhat of a stable condition, but
good news.
But still in a breathing tube, sedated, somewhat like that. So good news in the sense that it looks like it's moving towards the right direction. So hopefully it stays that way. They held practice, I think, today, the Bills, at least a walkthrough, I believe I read. But I don't know. I don't know if they're going to play the game. I don't know if they're going to continue the Bengals game or not, if they're just canceling it, whatever. But I think this week I think they do play the game. I think they do play the game because it does. And again, I'm not saying this coming from a place where like, bro, this matters. The playoffs matter, because no, it's like the life matters, right?
But it's real. You can only cancel the season for so long.
Exactly.
There is a reality to the league.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the NFL is just like, yeah, no, we give a shit up until we're losing money, and then it's kind of like, oh,
they lost a lot of money canceling that.
They did. So I don't know if they play this game. If the Patriots do go into Buffalo and play the Bills, I think the Patriots are playing for a playoff spot at this point.
Yeah, the Patriots win and they're in. So
and the Bills are fighting for that number 1 seed.
Yeah, the AFC. That's the AFC East is a little confusing because if you look at the percentages of postseason, it says that New England is 33, and they're a win and in team.
Yeah,
and that is because they're playing the Bills, who are really tough to play and should still be playing for a first seed.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Miami, if they beat the Jets and New England loses, Miami's in. But if Miami and New England lose and Pittsburgh wins, then Pittsburgh would take the last seed.
Oh.
So that's kind of the 3 scenarios. It's big for Miami, it's big for New England and Pittsburgh.
Yep.
So a lot of eyes will be on this game. I'm going to go with Buffalo.
Yeah, I would go with the Bills as well if this game does happen. Both teams have something to play for, and unfortunately the Bills have something more they want to play for, because they realize that if Kansas City wins, the playoffs go through Kansas City. If they lose to the Patriots,
nobody wants that.
And nobody wants that except Kansas City. So the Bills know we'll get home field advantage if we win. All that emotion riding into the playoffs, and they have home field advantage. Absolutely. Give me the win all day. So I'm taking the Bills on this one.
Yeah. Got to agree with you.
Next game up, an NFC North battle between the Vikings and the Bears at Soldier Field. The Vikings are
Bears.
Well, hold on. Justin Fields is out.
Vikings.
So Kyle, real fucking quick, took that and reversed it.
That's the state of the Bears for you.
I mean, it is. I mean, you got Nathan Peterman playing for the Bears.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is.
Vikings, obviously, if they win and San Francisco loses, they would go back to the 2 seed, which would mean that so right now, basically San Francisco jumped the ladder last week by beating the Raiders and the Vikings losing. So by San Francisco jumping to the 2 seed instead of being at the 4 seed, it changes the opponent dramatically, because the 2 seed would end up playing the 7 seed in the wild card round, which would be the Packers.
Yep.
So the Vikings, in a way, I don't know if they want the 2nd seed. Boom! Do the Vikings want to play the Packers, or do they want to play the
Lions or the Seahawks?
No, because they would all be out if the Packers are in. It would only be.
Oh, you're saying the Packers win.
They
would the Vikings want to?
So the Vikings, if they win,
I see what you're saying.
If the Vikings win and the Niners lose, they would end up playing Green Bay if Green Bay wins, and I don't know if they want to do that,
especially after they just got destroyed. Yeah.
So, what if they just say, you know what, we're going to rest our starters and we're going to be comfy at the number 3 seed, because 3 seed plays the 6, and that would be the Giants.
The Giants.
I would rather play the Giants than the Packers, even though the Packers are a worse seed.
But the thing is, too,
they're thinking about it.
I think they're just gonna go with their bench players, right?
Yeah,
like they have to try to lose, not necessarily try to lose, but like, hey, I mean, we don't really give a shit about going to the 2nd seed. Like you said, if we're playing the Giants versus playing
let San Francisco take care of the Packers.
Yeah, let them do that.
Up with the Giants.
Yeah, so I think I if I'm the Vikings, if I'm Kevin O'Connell, I'm like 3rd, 4th, practice squad players come in and play a game because
That's crazy though, because
But-
I don't remember like a scenario like this.
but the Bears too, right? Right now they have the number 2 pick. If they win, they possibly, depending on how all the other games go, all the other teams, the Broncos, I think, is one of them, or maybe was one of them on the top 4 picks. Bears can move from 2 to 4, 2 to 3, but if they lose and Houston wins, they go from 2 to 1 as far as the NFL draft order.
Oh
So,
yeah,
and
Well,
the
I
way
got
that-
Arizona taking the number 1 spot.
No way. I don't think they have a shot to take the number 1 spot for the draft.
If the Bears win and the Texans win,
Mhm.
then Arizona would get.
Is Arizona the one in the top 4 right now?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and remember
So,
when
yeah.
they played the Broncos? I told you I was like I had some real insight from someone like that works in the building with Arizona.
Yeah.
And they told us, 5 weeks ago that this is a total rebuild in the Cardinals. I said it when I was live streaming the Broncos Cardinals game. The Cardinals are the worst team in the NFL right now.
Oh, you did say that. Yeah. I
And-
remember you saying that.
And I would expect them to, the record to kind of reflect that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're right. You got to think about that side of it too, because those are
And-
I think when it comes to like the integrity of the game, I think it's okay to lose if you're trying to manipulate the playoff opponent,
yeah.
but it gets a little kind of hush when you're talking about drafting. You know what
Because
I mean?
and especially with the fact that the play calling for the Bears late in games, even when they were still like a number 3 pick or something like that, has been like, and this is just me like talking about conspiracies, it's been
I
so
love it.
bad where it's like, what the fuck they're doing. Like they are definitely like, oh, here's a swing toss pass on a 4th and
13.
2 or something like that. And we're in the red zone or like at the 30. It's
really
like, this
think-
looks like bad.
You think the Bears do that on purpose?
Absolutely. I think they want a top pick so they can either draft somebody on the defensive side or trade it up to somebody who desperately needs a quarterback for more picks and players and maybe even money. You never know. The Bears have a lot of money though, so it might not actually be that.
Draft picks are overrated unless you have a top 10 pick.
Well, yeah, but that's what I mean. Like they want that top 10 pick.
I saw a list of the last 4 years of players drafted between 25 and 32,
Yeah.
and the best player on that list was Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Oh my God.
And the reason
And he's not even playing the game anymore.
yeah,
He's
the
not
reason
even
I looked
starting.
at that list was because the Broncos have the 49ers draft pick, and the Niners will probably have 25 or
Oh
higher.
yeah.
And
that's right.
they were like, the Saints won a first round, and all the Bronco fans are like, no, we can't give up a first round. And I'm like, look at the list of the last 5 years of players drafted between 25 and 32.
Yeah.
The best player was CY Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So
Oh, yeah.
it's just people, and I'm only bringing this up because you're talking about draft picks. If
Mhm.
it's not a top 15 pick,
Mhm.
usually it's not like a really great player that you're giving up. You can get better players in free agency.
Absolutely.
I like the fuck them picks mentality
Yeah.
personally. I'm like,
I'm not, and especially if you are that far back, too.
yeah,
If you're like in the low to mid 20s, it's like
32, whatever.
up to 32. Yeah, it's just like whatever. So,
yeah,
So we both got the Vikings on that one. Next game is going to be big-ish kind of game. Although I think the Bengals have
Huge.
already.
huge game.
Is it an AFC North
This game,
decider or is
this
it
is a
a
decider for the division.
really?
Well, TBD.
Yeah, TBD still. So we
We
got
don't
the
know.
Ravens at Bengals again because we don't know.
Should the Bengals have lost on Monday night,
Mm-hmm.
then this game would have decided. Actually, no. I think the Ravens
don't-
losing did it
Yeah.
because the Ravens lost to the Steelers. If the Ravens would have beat the Steelers and the Bills would have beaten the Bengals, then this game would have decided the North.
Yeah.
So I think because the Steelers won.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, I saw the chat.
Oh, okay.
I think because the Steelers won, it doesn't really matter.
Mhm.
But once again, we don't know what's really going on with the Bengals, so
It's
kinda
just
hard
all
to-
up in the air, and it's hard to decide.
Yeah.
But either way, it's still a big game. But I mean, if I had to pick one right now, I
I'm
think
going Bengals.
disregarding the game, yeah, I'm going Bengals too. The Ravens, don't have Lamar, and you've seen how they have been without Lamar. It has been struggle bus central for them.
I think Lamar's healthy, and I told you this was my conspiracy. They're just trying to get him to the postseason as healthy as possible.
Yeah.
I think Lamar's been healthy for the last couple of weeks, but the PCL, which is what he tore, apparently it's a very complicated injury. But I didn't think you're going to see any Lamar during the regular season, and I don't think you're going to see him on Sunday. So I'm going to go with the Bengals. I think even if they had Lamar, the Bengals are playing at a really high level. No one's talking about their defense and their special teams,
which has been really good as of recently.
Yeah, really good. And even the little bit of the Bills game that we did see, you saw the Bengals drive down, score a touchdown in the first drive.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bengals are playing really good football right now. They're like the Bills and they're like the Chiefs. So.
Yep. We got Richard in the chat. Yo, what's up, boys? What up, Richard? Let's go. Richard in the chat. Let's move on to the next game. Texans at Colts, AFC South matchup that doesn't, well, it matters to the Texans. If they win, the Bears lose, they are number 2 instead of number 1. If they lose, they're still number 1, regardless of what happens to the other games.
I'm not picking a winner.
I bet you they tie again. This is just a rematch of that tie early in the season.
This is for Jeff Saturday's job.
Jeff Saturday doesn't have a job after the season, whether he wins or not.
Yeah.
I don't think he does.
I don't think so either. He should just start as an offensive line coach if he really wants to.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a Pro Bowl center for a long time.
Yeah.
That's your path.
Yeah.
And then be the best O-line coach in the NFL for like 5 years. And then maybe you'll be ready.
Gun to your head. Who are you picking?
I can't think. There's
Wrong.
a gun to my head.
Wrong. Now there's 2 guns to your head.
I'm gonna go with the Texans.
You're going Texans. Okay.
I think the Texans are a better football team right now, and as much as people think that owners tank, players I don't think do, and I think the players are gonna win this game, and the owners are gonna be pissed.
So they go to number 2, possibly number 3.
Yeah,
possibly number 3. I'm actually gonna go with the Colts on this one. I don't know why. This is the most disgusting game on the slate.
I know we talked about it way too long.
Yeah, that was 2 minutes too long. Next game up, Jets at Dolphins. Jets are out of it. Dolphins are still in the hunt for a playoff spot at this point. Dolphins will probably Tua-less again for this game.
They will be.
Okay, so they will be Tua-less without in this game against the Jets. You're going to have Bridgewater
broke his finger.
So it's going to be
it's between Bridgewater and
I forgot the other guy's name, whoever the third.
Yeah, I forgot too. We're not versed on all the third string quarterbacks in the league. The point is,
the
Dolphins have a chance. Where did the times get released? Because the Dolphins may know. I think they might have. No, yeah. Times are good. Okay, so we have the Patriots game that we discussed already at 10 a.m. And we have the Jets Dolphins at 10 a.m. So
these are the morning games.
So this is one of those games that while it's on, they're going to be looking up at that projector to see if the Patriots are losing. Because if the Patriots, if they win, the Dolphins can't get in.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really fun, flickering back and forth from the Jets, Dolphins, and Bills, Pats. So I'm going to go with the team that has something to gain, and that's the Dolphins. And I think even if they have a third string quarterback, I think they're just going to find a way to get it done. Because there's only maybe one team you could say that is choked harder than the Dolphins, and it's the team they're playing.
Yeah, and Richard is going to disagree with us and go with the Jets.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. I have to agree. The Dolphins are playing for more. They're going to want it more.
Natalie's rubbing off on you.
Yeah, I know.
Say it, Jay.
No. I'm going Dolphins too.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. I'm going Dolphins. Okay. I'm going with them winning this one because, like you said, they have something to play for. They aren't going to give up that easily, right? And if they don't, like you said, it would be the biggest choke job since Monica Lewinsky and Bill Clinton. All right? We're talking about
They're
huge,
children
right? And they don't get it,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
a good point.
perfect. So that I'm going with the Dolphins, and it's kind of like you said, they're going to be scoreboard watching. Can the Patriots lose against the Bills? Right? Like we need to win, and they may be scoreboard watching. I just think they're going to have that fire in them. They're not even going to want to look at the scoreboard. They're just going to be like, let's go.
Yeah.
They're not going to pull a Ron Rivera and be like, oh, shit, what happened? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know we could get eliminated.
I would say that they're going to have to rely a lot on the run game.
Yeah.
With, is it Mostert?
Shots fired. Mostert.
They're going to have to rely on the running game if they're going with a third-string quarterback, even though they have Tyreek and Waddle.
Yeah.
If you don't have a guy comfortable to air it out to them, it might be an issue.
Yeah.
The only problem with the run game is the Jets have maybe the best front four.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes them so good is they don't need special blitz packages. They can do single coverage with Sauce Gardner, who he gets away with a lot of PI. I'm just going to say that. I'm still salty.
He's so mad about his boy Patrick Surtain. That's why.
I'm so mad. No,
everybody gives Sauce Gardner love that you're just like, well, what about Surtain? He's really cool.
Yeah,
Sauce Gardner talks.
He's allowed
a lot.
7 catches for 12 yards on the season.
But that's because Sauce Gardner talks about it more. You know what I mean? Your boy Surtain is just a little too quiet.
Yeah, I love it. All right, so that's why I think it's a problem. You can't just rely on a run game. Yeah. But we saw Miami when they played Buffalo in the snow game. They came out and they committed to the run. I think they had 160 yards in the third quarter on the ground. And it was wow. I think that's what they're going to need to do. They're going to need to beat a team like the Jets. They're going to have to be physical, and they're going to have to run the ball. They're going to have to commit to it early. I think this is going to be a lowish scoring game. I'm talking 13-17 low.
Oh, wow.
But if the Miami can commit to running and do it effectively, that's their way of beating the Jets. I don't see a third string quarterback. Don't game plan like you have Tua. You know what I mean? Because you don't. And that's what's complicated about plugging and playing is that this whole offense is catered and it's specially made for Tua. So when you remove him, you got to change everything. You can't just plug and play. So a lot of running. It's going to be unique. We don't see that out of Miami this year, but they're going to have to just commit to running the ball and be good at it, or they're going to lose.
Yeah, for sure. Next game up, Panthers at Saints. Both of these teams have got nothing to play for. I don't think either of these teams can make the playoffs. They're not in the picture. They're both NFC, so absolutely not.
Yeah, they're both eliminated.
Both NFC South, though, so it's still a divisional matchup. It's going to be a tough game for both, I think.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
Yeah, I think I'm going with the home team on this one. I'm going Saints, and they've proved me wrong as of late, picking them, not picking them, whatever. So I'm going Saints with this one again. They're at home. Taysom Hill has been somewhat good when in the limited play he's had. Still got Alvin Kamara there. Chris Olave has been playing okay ever since he got back from injury. I'm just going with the home team. The Panthers, I don't think have enough. Their defense has looked pretty bad as of recently, and their run game isn't going to be that effective against the Saints.
Saints are 3-point favorites at home, which means that it's pretty much even.
Yeah.
So, man, I don't like going against the grain just for the sake of it, but I do think Carolina in their last 4 games have been really good at running the ball. I think they had over 200 yards the week before last, and Tampa just happened to, finally go off with Mike Evans. And I've seen the books overcompensate to, sporadic things like Tampa.
Yeah.
I think if they would have been able to beat Tampa, you would see the books look different. I'm going to take Carolina.
Boo! Boo him in the chat. Boo him in the chat.
Don't boo me in the chat.
Boo him in the chat.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't you do it. And he's gone. Next game, AFC North matchup. This is an important one. Browns at Steelers. Steelers are trying to get in.
Steelers.
Okay. Didn't let me finish my spiel on the game. That's fine. Fuck me. That's fine.
No, sorry.
No, it's fine because I'm going Steelers too. I don't know, man. I just the Browns have looked good, but I don't think they're better than a Steelers team that. Oh, we're putting helmets on.
The Browns are
Where's
trying
mine?
to play spoiler.
Where's
I
mine?
hid it. I hid your helmet.
Oh, there it is.
You'll never find it.
Yep, there it is.
All right, you found it.
So I don't think that. I don't think. Let's go. I don't think the Steelers with a Tomlin with a team with a quarterback like Pickett, all these guys that are trying to make the playoffs and not hand Tomlin his first losing season, are going to be the breaks out of the Browns, especially at home.
Browns are trying to play spoiler, and the Browns just did do that successfully last week against the Commanders. Remember?
No.
He doesn't remember much. That's why he put his helmet on.
That's why I got the helmet on. God, I look so dumb.
We need to get like real Revo speeds.
I know.
You know,
like the fucking
visor.
Oh yeah.
You get like an orange and I'll get a blue one. Yeah. They're gonna try to play spoiler. I think they're gonna give them their best shot, but the Steelers, just like last week against the Ravens, who I think are better than the Saints, they found a way to win at the end down the stretch.
Yep.
I got them doing it again. I think it's going to come down to the end of the game.
Ooh, like a last second.
Yeah, like a last drive kind of thing. Kenny Pickett.
Okay.
Because they don't do much.
Yeah.
You know, but they do enough.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go with that. They're not going to do much, but they'll do enough.
They'll do enough to win. Pickett's going to orchestrate another game-winning drive like he did the week prior.
Yeah.
I mean, hey.
He looked good out there.
He did. He really did. All right. As we move on to the Sunday PM games, just want to give you guys a quick heads up. Only Football is brought to you by Star 6 Media. We've got the ticker down there. We've got our Twitter handles up there. So go check us out on all of our social medias. Check us out at our Twitter. And the only one we don't have up here right now is Star 6 Media on Twitter @_ Star 6 Media. So go check us out. Go follow us. We are always posting updates on when we go live, as well as on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and Facebook. So go check us out. Subscribe, like, share. We would appreciate it so much from you guys. As we got Bill here in the chat, I got your back. I think they're doing good lately. He's talking about the Panthers. So you got somebody who's got your back, Kyle. You got somebody. But let's move on to the.
I'm always on Bill's side.
Bill loves you, I guess.
Big Giants guy.
True. Oh, that's right. And speaking of the Giants at Eagles.
Boom.
Into the Sunday slate on Sunday. The Eagles playing for number 1 seed. They don't want to give up that number 1 seed to the Cowboys. They want to remain NFC East champs. They're playing for something, but will Jalen Hurts play? And the Giants already locked up that number 6 seed. Do they want to start Daniel Jones? Do they want to start Saquon Barkley? Do they want to play spoiler for an Eagles team that they were getting destroyed by, right? Who are you taking in this?
Well, I'm.
This is a tough one.
Hurts is limited in practice right now, but his status is uncertain.
Okay.
The Eagles lost last week. It wasn't really. There was just a bad interception.
It was 20-10. It wasn't like a stupid loss.
Well, I think it was like they were down, I think 7, and Minshew threw that pick 6, and then they got out of control. Or maybe they're only down 3.
Yeah.
So I think last week, honestly, you can wrap that whole game up to just one bad play on Minshew. And the week before, it went toe-to-toe with Dallas. This game is going to be – hey, buddy, get down. We're shooting a show. This is a serious podcast.
We're so serious. Don't you see the helmet?
I'm gonna go with the home team. I'm sorry, Bill. I'm gonna go with the Eagles at home. There's a lot to lose, and I think if there's any chance that Hurts can get medically cleared, you're gonna see him on the field. And if he's on the field, no different than if the Eagles were playing the Giants in the playoffs. I would pick the Eagles. The home field is gonna want the NFC to run through home field. So I expect the crowd to be extremely passionate and then do it knowing what's on the line.
Absolutely. Bill's saying they're going to start the A team, then pull them. If it's Minshew, Thibodeau's going to eat, and he has. He's been lights out for the Giants.
Yeah.
And And Bill actually agrees with you. He thinks it's gonna be closer to the Eagles. The Eagles are gonna win this game, and I'm agreeing with you too. I'm going with the Eagles as well. They're gonna want the playoffs. They're gonna want the extra bye week for Jalen Hurts to feel better.
Yeah.
Just an extra couple weeks of like recovery. They're gonna want the playoffs to go through them, and 3, they're a very good team with Jalen Hurts, so they want all these things to happen. If it's Minshew though, you know what I mean? Like it is gonna be a rough game. It's gonna be a rough game, I think.
Really?
I think it's gonna be a rough
He
game
did
with Minshew.
so good against Dallas.
He's 0-2 though.
I don't think like they fumbled it. They had 4 turnovers.
He's 0-2
and it was the
though.
players fumbling the ball, or that the interception he threw was his receiver going like this, and then the ball just got took out of his hands.
He's 0-2 though.
But it's not his fault. Minshew played an exceptional football game against the Cowboys, and his team let him down.
Yeah.
And
sure.
then I think if you go back and watch the Philly game,
Check the tape.
check the tape, you'll see that Minshew is not, even if they have to go with him, he's not limiting them from beating a Giants team. Like if they were playing like another kind of powerhouse like the 49ers, I could understand. But out of the playoff teams that there are, I'd say the Giants are a beatable team with Minshew. I really do think so. Daniel Jones had a great game last week.
Yeah.
I'm not taking that away from him. But is he going to be able to repeat that performance 2 weeks in a row? I don't think so.
No, yeah, I doubt Daniel Jones will be able to repeat his performance. But just like Bill said, Thibodeau is on fire right now in the defense.
Yeah.
Now, whether they start him, because he is part of the A team, like Bill said, whether they start him against Minshew is yet to be determined. Although he's a rookie, I think they want him to have as much exposure to real life NFL games as much as possible.
Yeah.
So I think they will start him. Dude, it's just this almost like you said for Tua. This offense is built around Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, it is.
Minshew can't run like Jalen Hurts can. He can't get out of the pocket like Jalen Hurts can.
But he can hit Devontae Smith and he can hit A.J. Brown.
Yeah, but does he have enough time in the pocket with this Giants defense?
Yeah.
Lane Johnson is out, and he gave up a lot. Like one of the offensive linemen for the Eagles, he's given up a lot of. I don't know if sacks or if it's just like the absence of Lane Johnson is felt on that offensive line because of that.
Yeah.
So who knows, right? But I think this is going to be a rough game. Again, I'm sticking with the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to win.
If Minshew plays, do you have the Eagles?
If Minshew plays, I'm still taking the Eagles. But like I said before, I think it's going to be a rough game.
Okay.
It's going to be a rough game.
Okay.
So let's move on to the next one. Cowboys at Commanders. Cowboys have the number 1 seed and the NFC East to play for.
To play for.
Yeah. The Commanders are out after their head coach had no idea that they could be out last week.
Yeah.
Which I think he's just like checked out mentally from Washington.
Or he's trolling us.
Or he's trolling the hell out of us, which would be great. I think I'm going to go with the Cowboys here. I think they're gonna destroy the Commanders. Although I feel like every time I've said they're gonna destroy a team, it's always been either a close game that they win or a close loss. But I think they're gonna destroy the Commanders.
Yeah, it is a road game. Commanders are out of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
They are eliminated, like you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the Cowboys in these situations, I'm gonna take the team that's got something to play for.
Yeah.
I may be wrong, 1 out of the 7, but I feel like this is safest thing is to play with the players that, are playing for next week. And if they can, if the Giants can win and the Cowboys win, I think people, will look at the Cowboys a little differently if people are coming to Dallas to play playoff games. That is a huge advantage.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, even the weather, you think about how tough it is to play, game in Green Bay, which they wouldn't be able to host. But Philly, with Meek Mill and nightmares and dreams, First Lady on the field, Fly Eagles Fly, you could feel the energy in that stadium.
Yeah.
When they played the Packers, it was like, man, there's no way. I was watching that, and I picked the Packers because I was like, it's a playoff game for them.
Yeah.
And it was like, if they lose, it's going to be really hard to get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I watched the pregame, and I said, there's no way anybody could win besides
Yeah.
the Eagles. Like
yeah, honestly.
that advantage. Now you get to get everybody out of the cold and
Mhm.
go through the dome.
Yeah.
75 degrees, no wind.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna get the Eagles, best shot,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be enough to beat a Commanders team.
Yeah. And we got Bill. Are the Commanders starting Wentz? I don't think so. From what reports I heard, they're actually going with a third stringer. They're not even going with Heineke. They're not going with Wentz. They're going with like some third stringer that I don't think I've ever heard of. So this will probably be an even easier win for the Cowboys. But yeah, me and Kyle both are the Cowboys. in
Sam
this game.
Howell.
Sam Howell. There you go. Someone I've never heard of is starting for the Commanders. Let's move on to the next game. Chargers at Broncos. I've already got the Broncos written down for you. The Chargers.
I got the Chargers.
You got the Chargers?
I have the Chargers this week losing. This is a game in Denver.
That's funny.
I think the Broncos showed a lot of good stuff
Yeah.
on the field against the Chiefs. Should have won.
Yeah.
Some BS calls got in the way, but the Chargers, they're playing good football right now. Don't
Yeah.
get it twisted.
Yeah.
They Justin Herbert's just playing at an elite level right now,
Mhm.
and I don't want to take that away from them, but it's there's gonna be a huge tailgate party to close out the season.
Yeah.
Should be some good energy. Even though at this point Denver just wants to give Seattle a worse pick.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're gonna end the season on a high note. I don't want to talk about it, right?
That's funny. That is actually really funny. I'm going with the Broncos too.
Let's go.
Put the helmet on. I think like you said, they're playing better football. Russ looks a little bit more. I guess I want to say
Rustic.
no, because that's hilarious. He looks a little more inspired by what's happened, and it sucks because Nathaniel Hackett got fired, and all of a sudden Russ is kind of playing like Russ has played, right?
Yeah.
But Chargers, I don't think there's nothing much else they could play for. They're already in the playoffs.
The seeding could change.
I think the seeding can change, but I feel like a lot of things have to happen for them to move up. I think they're number 6 seed right now, or 5, something like that.
It would be number 6.
Yeah,
because the Ravens are above them.
Oh, true. So I don't know. It could be a seeding thing. It could be something that they do want to play for as far as seeding. And yeah, but I mean they're at home. It's the last game of the year. Russ is going to want to go out on a good note after such the low average season he's had. So I'm taking the Broncos in this one as well. And Broncos Bill says, LOL, Broncos definitely put in a good game, but it's going to be a tough one. And depending on if they start, the starters for the Chargers side, although I don't think so. So
well, I mean, it's going to be a good environment. You're going to have the greeters when you walk in, like because you're going to have the greeters.
It's a Walmart. You are right.
It's hard to win at Walmart.
Yeah,
it's hard to win at Walmart.
Yep.
So I'm taking Walmart to
the biggest American corporation.
I'm taking Walmart to beat SoFi.
Yeah, that's actually good. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. All right, so we got that one in the books. Next game up, we have the Rams going into Seattle, going into 12, taking on the Seahawks. I'm taking the Seahawks at home. They have something to play for. They have a playoff spot to play for. They need the Lions to win, and they need to win.
Yeah,
and it's against a Rams team that has been bad all year. So, and they've got Baker. He's had 1 or 2 good games with the Rams, but I think the Seahawks, like you said, got something to play for. I'm taking that team all day.
Yeah, I got the Seahawks too.
Okay.
Going to be in Seattle. All eyes are going to be on, but here's the one thing you got to keep in mind. This is an afternoon game.
Yep.
And if they see that the Packers win.
No, they haven't
seen
that
yet.
It's
Sunday night.
Yep,
no, the Packers are the ones that have the advantage.
That's what it is. Yep.
Because if the Rams win, then the Lions aren't going to give the Packers their best shot.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they're going to know that they're eliminated.
Yep, exactly.
Or if the Seahawks win.
Or the Seahawks win, yeah.
The Seahawks win.
Oh, that's actually a good point.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned that to you yesterday, remember?
I think you did, and I was like, at first, because kind of how I just like nuh-uh you. I was in my head. I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna play at the same time. It's gonna be afternoon games. I wasn't even like thinking about that.
Yeah.
That's gonna be very interesting.
Yeah, because
Will the Lions even give a shit if
They
the
might
Seahawks
not.
win? Wow, that's crazy.
they might even lose on purpose. No, I wouldn't go that far. But yeah, no. It's just
because they want to beat the Packers too.
you can make the argument like, hey, it's Dan Campbell. Like
Yeah.
no team of his is going to play any less hard, no matter what the outcome is.
Play spoiler.
But it is it's just it's a fact. Like when
Yeah.
you know you're eliminated, like you
Mhm.
know that the outcome doesn't change anything.
Mm.
It changes the way you play.
Yeah.
So I do think it's a huge advantage for Green Bay to just sit on their couch or Sunday
Yeah.
night and just watch, because the Lions see they're eliminated. There's a different team taking the field.
I think so too. But I think they would like to play spoiler for the Packers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
being a divisional rival.
Exactly. If there's, would I rather have one divisional opponent go to the playoffs or two? I think I'm going with one. I'm trying to ruin the Packers.
You want to see Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs deep down.
100% not correct.
Are you serious?
No. I don't
If
wanna
like
see
you
him.
could push a button and Packers miss the playoffs, would you push it?
Beep, 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 beep,
Really?
beep, 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 beep.
I just feel like the playoffs are better when there's like these like tier 1 quarterback matchups. Like I would rather see
But-
that than Geno Smith.
But I would rather the playoffs. Look at the AFC: Mahomes, Burrow, Josh Allen, Herbert. These teams are these players going into the playoffs. It's just a new chapter,
Yeah.
and it's super exciting because all three of those guys have really good shots at being like in the playoffs for the next decade. We're really seeing the next Tom Brady, Roethlisberger, Manning, Breeze type of quarterbacks.
New era.
Yeah, it's a brand new era. So,
But what does that have to do with the NFC?
it has to do with the fact that I don't want to see Aaron Rodgers' old face in the playoffs again.
Would you rather see Jalen Hurts versus Geno Smith or Jalen Hurts versus Aaron Rodgers?
Jalen Hurts versus Geno Smith.
Ah, gross.
I'm a Bears fan, dude. What do you want me to do?
But the Packers are
I
playing at a
bleed
high
orange
level.
and blue. I bleed it.
I do too.
No, you don't. Not my
Orange
not
and
my orange and
They're
blue.
literally the same colors.
Oh my god. Real quick, Richard. Lions are getting a good pick from the Rams. They're getting a very good pick. Top 10, I think, easily. Top five. Okay, top five. And then we got Bill and Rodgers had to make it to the playoffs in order to choke it away again.
Hey, I just want to see him go. I actually believe in
that's
this
funny.
team more than the teams in the past. They haven't played their best football going. I will save it for the Packers.
Yeah, we'll save it. We got one more game before we get there. Next game up, Cardinals and 49ers, last of the PM slate. 49ers playing for that number 1 seed again in the NFC. They need a couple things to happen, though. Obviously, they need to win, and I think they still need
Minnesota and Philly to lose.
Yeah. So that's happening. Cardinals, Kyler Murray is out, doubtful for the 2023 season now. After the injury he sustained. They're probably starting Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy has never played this many NFL games since his first year in the league, probably.
Indy had a concussion.
Yeah.
Against the Broncos.
So is it McSorley then?
Yeah, McSorley.
Oh, it's going to be McSorley. Okay, I thought it was going to be
Well,
McCoy.
no, Colt might play. He was out like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay. So
it doesn't matter. Niners.
Yeah, I'm taking Niners too, man.
Yeah.
Again, they have more to play for. The Cardinals, I think the only thing here is Kingsbury playing for his job in a sense.
Yeah, but it's in San Francisco.
Yeah,
there's
so
not a chance.
Yeah, I highly doubt it. That was pretty easy. 49ers are going to destroy them.
Yeah.
It's going to get ugly.
All right. Last game of week 18 and the final regular season game of this 2022 season. Unfortunately, Kyle, it's come to an end. It's already here. Obviously, we still have the playoffs, but the regular season is over. Any football left for the Broncos and the Bears is going to end this Sunday. And it's going to end with a very, very good game, though. Sunday Night Football, Lions at Packers.
It's going to be a great game.
It's going to be a great game. Again, I think, well, either way, if the Seahawks win or lose, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, he's getting the glove. He's getting the glove. Where's Tyler? Tyler, get your boy. Get your boy, Tyler. Why is he got this in my face? Why does he got this in my get this off of me. Get it off of me.
I'm gonna go with the team playing their best ball right now. I'm gonna go with the Packers. I think everyone has the Packers at this point. The Lions are a good team. Don't get me wrong. They're gonna play pretty good. But
Yeah.
and I was about to say this, and I was like, I'll save it. The Packers haven't really, and if you watch McAfee, Rogers talking about this on Tuesday or yesterday.
Yeah.
He was saying they haven't played their best football. They've been 13-3, like kind of just they're like a good team that doesn't really lose, but they just kind of, they go into the playoffs, and by the time they get there,
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah, they're not playing their best ball. They're kind of like plateauing. And what makes this year so different is that they're going into the playoffs like peaking. And those are the teams. Oh, by far. What do you mean? How do you disagree with that? They're definitely peaking right now. And
Peking duck, maybe.
they're peaking. And when you talk about wild card teams, right? When you're talking about who can squeak into the Super Bowl like the Giants did that one year, it's got to be a team that is playing their best football at the end of the year, who have gone on, a long win streak. The Packers, I think they've won 5 of their last 6. Since the Eagles game, I think they haven't lost since the Eagles game,
Scumbags.
which was supposed to be the game that took them out of the playoffs, down to a 2% chance or 4%. And that's what they did. And every week they show that they're getting better defensively. They show that they're getting better on special teams. Last week was the most complete game you could ask. You had an interception return for a touchdown, a kickoff return for a touchdown. Rodgers was able to throw the ball. The running game was going. Like, that is when you see that from every aspect. It wasn't like the Chiefs, Mahomes was great. The defense was average, and special teams was average. So the Chiefs won by 10. This is like, wow, like they can beat you in different ways now. So if you had to pick a team that would, and I'm not saying this because I like the Packers. I'm really not. I do think that the Packers have the potential to make a real run, like do it for real. And it was very unlikely a while ago, but the reality is the Packers are, if not the hottest team in the NFL right now, they're on the list. So yeah, give me the hottest teams going into January. And this game being in Lambeau, it's going to be a hell of an environment. It's going to be, the frozen tundra, the music, the cheeseheads, they're having fun. And like, that's what I'm really seeing out of them. Like they're having a lot of fun and they're playing really well. And I believe in this team, and they've turned their whole season around. I mean,
and that's, so them being in Lambeau is the one thing that kind of scares me for this game, because if the Seahawks lose, the Lions are going to want it. But if the Seahawks lose, the Lions are going to want it to spoil. But either way, either scenario, it's going to be hard because of Lambeau. I'm still picking the Lions. I'm still taking the Lions just because, just like Richard said here, right? That Bears hate. That's right. That's right. I hate the Packers. I hate seeing the Packers in the playoffs. No matter what, I'm taking the Lions. But you have Richard here agreeing with you. 21-24 Packers.
I think it's higher than
that. The glove. I think so too. I think it's going to be a much higher scoring game.
I got 24-37 Packers.
Jesus, you're talking a blowout. You're talking blowout.
It's not going to look like that, but I think like 17 fourth quarter points makes it look like that.
Okay, all right, I can see that. Maybe a garbage time touchdown.
Glove.
Boo! Bill is saying Pack win and get in. Lions would need help, but it is the last game, so they know going in. Yeah, they would need help with the Seahawks. I don't know, man. I feel like this is the year the Lions actually made it to the playoffs. Outside of that one year they made it with Stafford when he was still there, and Megatron and all those guys.
But you have Seattle losing?
I had Seattle winning. Which again, these are just predictions, right? So
Yeah.
if they lose and I'm taking the Lions to win it because I think neither way they're going to want to play spoiler or they're going to win.
Yeah.
But if Seattle loses, my prediction is wrong for Seattle. Lions get in, but I'm taking the Lions to win.
Well, that'll be a super fun game. We'll definitely have that game going for everybody.
Week 18 is going to be a good time.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun. I'm probably not going to leave this room. Like, I'm going to have like a pee bucket. Like, I'm just going
There's a
to,
bathroom right there.
I know, I'm going to be so dialed in.
He's just going to have piss
I'm
bottles.
just going to,
everywhere.
what do you call that when you like put that?
The catheter.
I'm going to have a catheter in. Just like, I'm all, you guys are all mine for the next day and a half.
God. He's going to start at 10 a.m. and not
Saturday.
Oh, God.
It's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be so much fun.
Well, that's the last regular season prediction week that Kyle and I will have. Obviously, after that, it becomes wild card weekend the following Saturday. I'm assuming.
Yep, the following Saturday.
So following Saturday will be the beginning of wild card weekend, and I think it's 4 games and 4 games.
There's gonna be 4 games
Saturday and then 4 games Sunday, right?
No, 4 games total.
Oh, 4 games total.
Because you got 2 playing.
No. That's
2 plays 3, 6 games.
6 games total. Yeah.
Because you have 2. The first rounds have bye.
Yeah.
So 2 plays 7, 3 plays 6, 4 plays 5. So 3 in the AFC, 3 in the NFC. So we'll probably get a 10, a 4, and or a 10, a 2, and a 5 o'clock for us.
Yeah.
It'll just be like a regular week.
Yeah.
But it'll only be 1 game in each time slot. And then next week, it'll only be 2 games each.
Okay. There you go.
We're running out of football.
It's getting down. It's getting down, dude. It's because then it goes from 6 games to what? 4 games?
Yeah.
Then 2 games and then the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And then you gotta wait 2 weeks for the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So again, like I said, last regular season prediction week that we will bring you, but like Kyle said, we are going to be streaming those wild card games for you Saturday and Sunday. Richard said he's going to be here on Sunday all day again. Let's go. And yes, we are doing Saturday as well. So 100% will be here for both days. I'll probably not be in here peeing like in bottles like Kyle, but I will be definitely trying to do as much on the streaming as possible. So we will bring you those games. And yeah, man, like you said, it's the end of the season. What a crazy season it's been. I feel like we could kind of do like a recap, like just real quick, maybe even afterwards on our Monday episode too. But it's just been a wild year. And honestly, like as a podcast, our first actual like regular season under our belt. So we have a full off season, preseason, and now we got a full season.
Yeah.
Just gotta wait for playoffs and Super Bowl and we'll be complete.
It's been awesome. I've really enjoyed it. And as much, I love doing it with you.
Oh, y'all heard that? Y'all heard that.
It's the people that make it so special.
Yeah.
I was having fun, when it was just us and we didn't have many people.
Yeah.
But once the people started coming in and stuff like that, it was actually really fulfilling. Because it was like, wow, people like this. People are watching this.
Yep.
All of this matters. So thank you guys for being a part of this journey with us. We really, really appreciate having you.
Mm-hmm.
And buckle up because we're not going anywhere.
Buckle up. Pee in bottles. Do whatever you need to do.
Put the catheter in.
All right, let's move on to which one do you want to do? You want to do this one?
Yeah, that one.
Do you want to do this one? All right. Then we are moving on to
Top 5, no debating. Top 5.
Top 5. Kyle, last top 5
of
the year. Again,
well, we could go through the playoffs if we want.
Well, what happens after the
top 4?
Top 2. It's the Super Bowl contenders. There's no other way
around
it.
We got wild card where we'll have top 14. So you'll have 14 teams still. No, you can do top. We could do the wild card, there was 14 teams, right? 7 in the
that's
AFC,
true.
7 in the AFC.
That's true.
And then the next week, it's still 6 teams. So you could still do a top 5 based on those 6 teams left. And then you do your own personal.
So then we got to do the playoff version of top 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
which
All right,
we
I'm
got
cool
2
with
more
it.
weeks.
I'm
of.
cool with it. We got 2 more weeks of it. Like
Unless
Kyle
you don't
said.
want to, then I'm an idiot.
I want to go that way. You're an
Okay,
idiot.
okay.
You're an idiot. Yeah, you're an idiot. No. We will definitely. Stupid. We will definitely. We'll actually keep it. Yeah, let's keep it playoff top 5s because that's gonna be fun because then it's like even more like our number 1 is like we see them in the Super Bowl 100%, right?
Yeah, or I'll be like my top number 1 is Denver, and they're not even in the playoffs. It's a shame.
All right, scratch the top 5 in the playoffs. We're done. This podcast is over. We didn't even make it through the full season. But let's go through our top 5. So I've got mine genned up, ready to go. I'll start like we always do. We'll start off at 5, move our way up to number 1. Number 5, I've got the Chargers at number 5.
Wow.
Right now, they've been playing really well. They finally got a playoff appearance pretty early in the season for the Chargers.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, right? So I've got them at number 5, and I feel like the top 4 is going to be very surprising for a lot of you guys. But who do you have at number 5 right now, Kyle?
At number 5, I have the
No, the anticipation is killing me.
Green Bay Packers.
The Packers. Oh, a little low, I think, for the Packers.
Low?
Low. I think low.
You mean high? Because high, the numbers go up. So you're saying like they should be lower, like number 1, number 2, number 3?
Little low as in
Low.
on your top 5,
Oh,
one
okay.
being
I
the
just-
highest.
Really? I didn't
Yeah.
even know you would make the Packers would make an appearance. On yours.
The Packers are making an appearance.
And I can't follow you.
Nope. Because
You-
again,
you like
we're
them.
talking about this week, right? This week.
But you have
Who's number
But you have the
5?
Lions.
This
winning.
This week.
The ongoing debate of our top 5 as
We
we,
have
do it.
no
we
idea
fight
what we're
every
doing.
week. when we
Why do you guys even tune in? We have no idea what we're doing. What is football? All right. So you
Yeah.
have Packers number
At
5.
the Packers number 5, I'll do a quick explanation.
Wrong.
That they make it because they're playing really good complementary football,
Yeah.
but I still have to see them handle their business against Detroit to
Yeah.
move them higher.
Yeah.
I can't have them jump a team like San Francisco, Philadelphia, the Bengals, the
Mhm.
Patriots. I mean, there's a lot of really good teams right now, and I didn't even mention Buffalo. Like,
True.
yeah, you can't just like and I get the glove and stuff. But you can't just throw them up there too high. Like
All right.
they made an appearance. That's crazy that they did.
What about number 4? Who you got at number 4?
Number 4, I have the Chiefs.
Ooh, the Chiefs at number 4. I still got that's a little low, I think, in my opinion, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because the number 4, I have the Packers. I said a little low, and I had them one spot above you. So I got the Packers at number 4, and this is because they just put a whooping on the Vikings.
Yeah.
They look good. I'm not gonna lie, they look good. I still think they're gonna lose to the Lions.
It
At
looked
least
good.
I hope they lose to the Lions. Get that fucking glove thrown out the window.
But you don't think it'll happen.
I think it'll happen.
You think the Lions will win?
I think the Lions will win. That's why I picked them. If I didn't think it, I would have picked them.
That's fact.
That's fact.
That's a fact.
So why the Chiefs at 4?
I get it because it's based on last week's performances. I get it now. The
We
last
don't know
week of the
what we're
season.
doing.
The last week of the season. Yeah. Okay. Respectable pick.
Yeah,
Especially Bears fan. I know that's hard.
Yeah,
for you to do,
it
but
is. It is.
you
It
gotta-
was difficult. It was
It's
difficult.
just like being an announcer. You got to put your biases aside.
Yep.
And give the sports news.
Yep.
Number 3.
I have got the Lions. The Lions have made an appearance on my top 5. Lions are number 3. After they absolutely destroyed and mauled the Bears, they put up 41 points on the Bears. And yes, the Bears are a bad team. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
They got destroyed by the Panthers the week before.
Yeah, we're talking about this week.
Okay.
So, so Lions number 3, and again, going into this week, week 18, they know what they're playing for. Obviously, they need the Seahawks to lose, but either way, again, they're going to play the Packers tough. They're going to want to either play spoiler or play for the playoffs.
Yeah, that's fair.
Who you got at number 3?
Number 3. I have Buffalo.
The Bills. You've got the Bills going in. And obviously, look, this week, yes, there was the situation, the event that happened, the unfortunate event that happened during the game. But I still love the Bills. Absolutely. 100%. Who do you have at number 2?
The Bengals.
Bengals. Okay. I like it. Neither of these teams make a appearance in my top 5.
Go on.
Because my number 2 is the Chiefs. The Chiefs are number 2. They barely got by the Broncos, but
Bills and the Chiefs. The Bengals and the Bills are not on your top 5.
Again, because of what happened this week. We're talking about this week, right?
Comments.
What happened? Comments. Let's see what happened. Biggest, let's see, we got Bill here. Biggest win last week, Giants by 28, Lions by 31, Pack by 24. See, I mean,
guys,
look at that.
Help
Look at
me.
that.
He
Look at
doesn't
that.
have the Bills and the Bengals in his top 5.
And
Throw
it is
into
because
the
of what
comments.
happened on Monday Night Football. Okay, so
You can't
again,
punish him for that.
I'm not punishing them. Well, what I'm saying is that for this week, these are the teams that I think,
Okay,
you
that's
know,
fair.
based on this week. So I got the Chiefs at number 2. Again, they barely squeaked by, but I think they're. If you said the Chiefs are at home against the Lions, the Packers, or the Chargers, I'm taking the Chiefs every time. But for my number 1 team, we're watching them right now. We're watching the replay of the Super Bowl, Chiefs and 49ers. I've got the 49ers at number 1. Close win, another close win, yes. Brock Purdy has been playing out of his mind, man. And again, we talk about the offense and what type of offense. You could put Geno Smith probably in a 49ers offense, and he would be doing the things Brock Purdy's doing.
Or Brock Purdy's really good.
Or Brock Purdy's really good,
Because
too. That's also an
Jimmy
option.
G wasn't scoring this many points. That's
He
for
did
damn
score
sure.
against Arizona. He scored a
That
big,
was his one game.
Yeah, and I think it was like either
Mexico
Sunday Night
City.
Football, yes, in Mexico City, or it was Monday night,
Monday
whatever
night.
it was. It was
Yeah.
Monday night? Okay, cool. So
He's an altitude guy. He should come to Denver.
he should. I mean, you'd probably be doing better than Russ right now.
Whoa, chill.
Chill. And then Richard in here. You guys are so chill. See, we're chill. Chill.
I got the 49ers number 1 too.
All right.
You got that defense with the best coach in the NFL right now, Kyle Shanahan. John
Yep.
Lynch, incredible GM.
Yep.
They haven't even they are literally about to go into the playoffs and just grab this sword that is taped behind their back that no one could see. When Deebo Samuel comes out, and they're gonna be like, "Hey, remember this guy?" Boom! Yeah.
Boom.
The 49ers can go to the Super Bowl. And look, the Eagles, this is this week, right?
Yep.
They haven't been playing their best football because there's no Jalen Hurts. But to be honest, when we're doing top 5, there is extremely hard to do this because at this point of the year, and I mentioned it earlier, usually you go into the playoffs and there's like clearly a favorite here and clearly a favorite here. And then there's like tier 2s. There's a lot of tier 1s, you know. I think about the Eagles that didn't make it. I think about Jacksonville, who you could make an argument that could pop in. You got the Chargers popping in. You know, Dallas is still playing really good ball. There's just a lot, and those teams are all going to be in the playoffs. So if you really want to do a top 5, you would do a top 14, and that would be all your teams in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. All right. Well, that was our top 5
top
5 for the last regular season week.
That's what
of
we
the
should
year.
do next week.
What's that?
We should rank from 14 to 1.
14. Ooh.
Who are the worst team in the playoff all the way to the best team in the playoffs.
And I think what we should do is just continue doing that up until the last 2 teams in the Super Bowl.
That's what we'll do.
Okay, that is what we'll do instead of a top 5.
Yeah, it's so hard at this point.
It's funny because it's like it'll be the last 4 teams, and we're like, and we're just putting this team in here because fuck it. We don't know. We just need a team.
Yeah, like it's because when it gets to a point where you're doing top 5 and you don't have the Bengals and Bills,
Yeah.
it's like, wait a minute, what are we doing here? This is too hard.
And no, for sure.
So
That's what we're gonna do with Kyle. Great idea. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna rank all the teams 14-1. Kyle and I will have a separate list. We'll call it our top 14. And we'll give it we'll give it to you guys on our Wednesday episode.
Yeah.
Our pre wild card round episode.
D for the P.
D for the P.
Oh, P for the D.
P for the D for K. So that's what we'll do. So now we're moving into our last segment of the episode, and this is called Choke or No Joke, where it's Kyle and I are going to go through all the playoff teams that we know of so far and go, can they make it to the Super Bowl? What do you think? No joke? Or are they going to choke it away? That's what we're going to do with these teams. So Kyle just came back from taking a huge dump. Let's move into choke or no joke. Let me pull up the playoff picture here in a bit, but we can kind of go off the teams really, right?
Absolutely.
Let's just do that. Let's just pick the random teams in the playoffs. All right, Kyle. Chiefs. Choke or no joke?
No joke. Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Arrowhead, Tyreek leaves. His numbers get better.
Yep.
Greatest quarterback in the world. No joke.
No joke for me too. The Chiefs are the same team that they have been so good, dominant. They win the AFC West again, right?
Yeah.
For like the 100th time in a row or something like that. So no joke for the Chiefs. All right. This one, we got 2 teams. Since we don't really know who's taking the AFC South yet, we have to include both of these teams in a choke, no joke. Titans, Jaguars. Let's start off with the Titans. If they make it, if they take that 4 seed from the AFC South, choke or no joke?
I'm going to say that the Titans are a joke. The Titans are absolutely a joke just because they're depleted with injuries. They're just not going to do anything if they even accidentally get into the playoffs.
Same.
And then for the Jaguars, I'm going to say no joke.
Really?
I'm going to say no joke. I understand the experience. I understand all of that. But one thing you can't say about Trevor Lawrence is that he doesn't have experience playing meaningful football. He does. And those are things I look at when I try to translate a quarterback from college to the pros. I say, did they play in meaningful games in college, right?
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts, Alabama, even though he got benched, meaningful games. Trevor Lawrence, 2 national championships in a row.
Yep.
Clemson. Those are meaningful games. The whole world's watching. National championship's a big deal. The other quarterbacks that are out of like Baylor and stuff, it's like, oh, this is going to be a big step for them. We don't know how they're going to handle the spotlight.
Okay.
And that's what I said last year about Joe Burrow going into the playoffs. I was like, I'm not worried about the experience because he took his team to national championships and it translates very well. And I've been using this recipe for the last 5 years.
Okay.
When I'm talking about quarterbacks that don't have a lot of experience, I look at their college track record. I feel good about Trevor Lawrence playing in the playoffs, and I feel good about that offense in general. I don't even have this game close, the Tennessee game. So, what do you think?
So if we're talking, both of these teams are chokes to me.
Wow.
Both of these teams are chokes. The Titans, you said it all. There's nothing for me to add to it. It was clearly said, and that's kind of my stance on the Titans. That it's been my stance for the last 2 years, even when they were the number 1 seed last year, right? The Titans are a team that goes into the playoffs and you're just like, yeah, I think we can beat them. I think we've got a shot. They were never a number 1 seed where they were like, oh man, they're scary. Watch out for the Titans. No, it's like Tannehill.
They don't play sexy football.
They do not play sexy football, and that's what you need to do. You need to air the ball, and Derrick Henry is a monster, but it's no longer a running league, and it hasn't been since like the late 2000s. The Jaguars, while I agree that Trevor Lawrence has played in 2 back-to-back national championships, and that is meaningful football in college, you get to the NFL, you get to the playoffs where you're going up against teams like the Chiefs, like the Bills, like the Bengals. And the Bengals, yes, right? Like you said it yourself, right? Joe Burrow, I'm not worried about him because he's played meaningful football. But he also had like a really good team with him, right?
Yeah.
The Jaguars, if they make the playoffs, are a one and done team to me too. And I'm not discounting the fact that Trevor Lawrence has played meaningful football.
I think they could beat the Chargers.
But I don't know. I don't even know about that. I think the Chargers would beat them. I think the Chargers would beat them in a wild card. Yeah, there will be in Jacksonville probably, right? But I still think that the Chargers might beat them. I think a lot of AFC teams will beat them, regardless of whether they play in Jacksonville or not.
So when this is the last thing to say. Two things. One, you mentioned Mahomes never played an away playoff game. That's because the Titans got beat by the Bengals, and then the Bengals had to go to Arrowhead because they had a better record.
Yeah.
Or it would have shaped out if Tennessee won.
Yeah.
If the Chiefs would have traveled. So that's just like a fun fact that you reminded me when you said Tennessee was the first seed last year. The other thing is when I'm talking about the quarterbacks, I know you're saying the playoffs are different, but I'm talking about like Daniel Jones, right?
Yeah.
North Carolina.
Yeah.
Doesn't even know what it's like to play in, a
Huge
playoff
game. Yeah, for sure.
let alone a national championship.
For sure.
So there's only a handful of the quarterbacks in the playoffs that have that national championship experience.
Yep.
So you're saying like basically like that'll only get you so far. Like once you're in the NFL playoffs, like it's a different ball game, kind of like.
Yeah, I mean, the national championship in college is a great like puts pressure on you. You're under the bright lights.
Yeah.
You're on national television. Everybody who loves
50
college football
million viewers.
is watching this game. Absolutely. But when it gets to the playoffs, man, it's just there's a reason there are national championships and Heisman winners who don't translate well into the NFL. And they have national championships and they have a Heisman and they have playoffs and they have this and they have that. Sometimes it just doesn't work out for them. So I don't necessarily put a lot of weight on it, but I do think it matters. Like, I think it matters for sure because Trevor Lawrence is going to be like, okay, this kind of reminds me of the national championship, but these guys are levels better than the people they played.
When Andrew Luck got drafted to the Colts, he took his team to the playoffs in his first year. And I was in the Broncos Stadium when he came in and beat Peyton Manning. Andrew Luck is the only quarterback that was, you remember, in that 4 with Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
So I do think Trevor Lawrence, he's like a specific kid. He's a generational player. You know what I mean? And I guess you're kind of like, I'll believe it when I see it when it comes to Trevor Lawrence. And I'm kind of like, I believe that the homework that has been done on him and the fact that he has the Jaguars fighting for a playoff spot, that's enough for me to believe. And then his track record at Clemson. Yeah. I wouldn't do this with just anybody. You know what I mean? It's just like specifically this guy, but I'm happy that we're like kind of not agreeing on everything because it makes it interesting when the game comes on.
It does. And that's something that, look, again, who's going to make it for the AFC South? Is it going to be the Jags or is it going to be the Titans? Again, I think they're both chokes, but it's still going to be an interesting game to watch no matter what side you're on. Next team, Tampa Bay Bucks, NFC South Championships, probably get number 4 seed. Kyle, choke or no joke?
I'm going to say
it's tough.
It's Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no joke. Tom Brady's never going to be a joke. And if the minute that you think Tom Brady's a joke, like you are the joke. Like you became the joke because Tom Brady has more experience in the playoffs than probably, I'm not kidding, if you added every quarterback that's in the playoffs together.
Yep.
And that matters. Now, we're talking about a team here. Do I think that Tampa has what it takes to go the distance this year? I don't.
Unless they just do what they did last week.
Yeah.
Every single playoff game.
But then they just come off this performance where you're like, whoa, like they're capable of that. Okay, that kind of changes the playing field here. And I'm not going to lie, I'm extremely torn on this one.
I'm going to back you up and say no joke because of Tom Brady. That alone, you say the name Tom Brady to anybody who,
it's like Mufasa.
You get those chills, right? You say Tom Brady to anyone who's ever watched an NFL game, one NFL game, maybe one season, maybe like one Sunday you watch it, right? Something like that. People know exactly who that is, what he's done, and just the greatness of a player that he is.
Yeah.
So that alone, like you said, if you're calling Tom Brady and the Bucs a joke or a choke at this point, you're kind of insane.
Yeah.
So I'm going no joke, but I don't. But again, I don't think they have enough to make it. But if they did, based on the recent performance and based on Tom Brady killing it in the playoffs, I wouldn't be like so shocked.
Yeah.
Right? It wouldn't be the most shocking thing in the NFL. One, based on the year we've had, and two, because it's Tom Brady. So
Yeah.
Next team who has a shot at the playoffs, the Patriots. Choke or no joke?
Choke.
Choke, 100% choke. I don't think there's any discussion on this.
Not only would they choke in the playoffs, but they're going to choke and not even make it to the playoffs. This is not.
I like that.
This is not a team that we even want to see in the playoffs. They
Mhm.
don't have the ceiling to compete in the playoffs. Whatever they're doing since Tom Brady left,
Yeah.
it's just not very impressive. It's
No.
very boring,
Yes.
very slow.
Mhm.
It's just sleepable football, and
Really, honestly, you're not wrong.
yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna go joke.
Yeah. Choke.
Oh yeah, choke. Joke.
I agree.
I mean, they're a joke.
they're a fucking
they're clowns.
Their style of football is a joke. No, you're right. I'm going to agree for all the reasons you said. There's just no part of me that believes in Mac Jones in the playoffs. Last year he made the playoffs, and I was like, oh, here we go, right? Like this is going to be another dynasty or something like that. There's no way he's not going to make it. The Pats aren't going to make it. It is what it is. Next team, the Bills. Choke or no joke?
No joke. This is a Bills team that, and not like using what just happened in vain or in any way, but we have seen when teams have emotional reasons.
Yep.
Brett Favre losing his father on Monday Night Football. We saw players that lost their brothers and
Yep.
have career games. There's just something that brings a team together when they go through kind of emotional adversity.
Mhm.
This is a team that didn't need that to be considered, no joke. But you're implementing this kind of like, Bills Mafia togetherness,
Yeah.
and they're gonna maybe win the Super Bowl. So
Yeah.
no joke.
There's nothing else to be said here. They are no joke. They're one of the best teams in the NFL, if not the best team in the NFL. Like you said, they're probably going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So there's really nothing else to say here. Next team, a little bit on is the Vikings. Choke or no joke for the Vikings, Kyle?
Choke. They already
love it.
They already did what I expected them to do. They accomplished it. I said that they would win the division. They
Yep.
would go into the bye week with one loss.
Mhm.
But they won a lot of close games. They're being exposed. They're 3-3. They're a middle of the pack football team right now. Right
Yeah,
now, they're
yeah.
about number 15 on my list. So
Okay.
you can't be number 15 in the playoffs and be a no joke.
Yeah.
This is a choke.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
This one's tough.
What
because-
Vikings are you going to get?
Exactly. Well, are you going to get the 33-point comeback Vikings? Or are you going to get the Vikings that let the Packers just walk all over them and do whatever they wanted to?
And Dallas.
And Dallas and the Eagles? Like, these are all, and except the Packers, like legit playoff teams,
Yeah.
right? The Packers may or may not be in it. So I think I'm going to go choke on the Vikings as well. They have so many good pieces, though, around Cousins, except for Cousins. Cousins is just not the quarterback you want. You want someone else at quarterback right now.
You think Kirk Cousins could win a Super Bowl?
No,
Ever?
never.
Okay.
Because he has all the weapons he needs, and yet somehow he can't really like go up against these like really, really good teams, or even in crunch time,
Yeah.
be the guy where it's like Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, You're down 2 scores, easy.
Yeah.
We probably have this with 3 minutes left, something like that, right? He just doesn't have it, so I'm going choke on the Vikings.
We live in an era where if you don't have a Josh Allen or a Patrick Mahomes or a Joe Burrow, like
You may as well not have a quarterback.
yeah, you need one now.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
All right, next team, we have the Ravens. Again, there's speculation about Lamar. Is he hurt? Is he going to be hurt through the playoffs? Is he coming back to the playoffs? Choke or no joke on the Ravens?
Choke. They're definitely a choke. The dog's like, dude, I gotta go to the bathroom. Wrap this shit up, man.
Wrap it up.
The Bills or the Ravens are just they're not well enough.
Yeah.
But I would caution you. I'm gonna say I'm changing. They're no joke.
They're no joke.
They're no
Oh, okay.
They were averaging like 28 points a game
Mm-hmm.
when Lamar Jackson was playing.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, they haven't scored 17 in a game. That's 5 weeks of
Oh,
football.
wow. Yeah, you're right.
So, as sports fans and even sports commentators, we're all victim of the moment, right? We're so quick to say Ravens, they're fake. They suck. They can't score points.
Yeah.
They were scoring 40s and 30s and 20s and blowing leads of the Bills. I mean, when Lamar's healthy,
Mm-hmm.
they are a very, very exciting electric team.
Yeah.
But they have a tendency to blow fourth quarter leads.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact is, if they can fix that, let's look at the positive. They're in the lead in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
So I'm going to say with a healthy Lamar Jackson, this is a no joke team that has the potential to surprise people. But if Huntley's going to be in, this is a choke.
This is a choke. Yeah, I agree. There's nothing else to say about it from me other than, yeah, it's a choke if it's Huntley, and it's probably no joke if it's Lamar, because Lamar can make a lot of things happen. Next team up, and if you guys are in the comments, let us know whether you think these teams are chokes or no jokes. But the next team up, we have the Bengals, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. These guys have been to the Super Bowl already. They are in the playoffs again. Choke or no joke on the Bengals?
They're no joke.
Yep.
The Bengals have the potential to go back to the Super Bowl,
Mhm.
and it would not surprise me one bit. Yeah, they're the kryptonite of Patrick Mahomes. He has never beaten Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
He's also, I believe, the most disrespected quarterback in the NFL. He's never in the conversation of one of the best, even though the greatest, in the world has never beaten him.
Yeah.
He quietly has just taken his team to the Super Bowl and then wasn't even on the top 5 list for favorites to get to the Super Bowl the next year.
That's true. I did have him not winning the North this year, too.
Yeah, well, you had the Steelers. So
yeah, Steelers. Let's go. Let's go.
You got to put some respect on this guy's name. Joe Burrow is a competitor, and he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
I agree with that as well. The Bengals are no joke, and like you said, they have a shot to make it to the Super Bowl again this year. They've been there. They know what's up. They know what it takes to get there, and they still have the same team, maybe just a tad bit better. Maybe the O-line is a little bit better. The defense has been playing better for sure, so I think
they lost their left guard for the season.
Oh, that's right. They did.
So that is going to be tough unless they can get the Rams Hall of Famer to come out of retirement at 40.
Oh, that's right. They can get exposed. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But so far, so
so
good.
far,
for the
so
Bengals.
good. In the best receiving core in the NFL.
Yep.
Tyler Boyd would be a stud number 2 anywhere else.
Absolutely.
Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd.
Oof.
I wouldn't want to play them.
And Bill is agreeing with us. He said, agreed so far. Just waiting for you to savage my Giants. We're getting there. We're getting there. Next team up, we have got the Dolphins. If they make the playoffs, are the Dolphins choke or no joke?
They're choke.
Okay.
They've proven that in the last 5 weeks. They couldn't beat the Packers. Then they played playoff teams. They played the Bills. They played the Packers, who look like a playoff team. I believe they played the Bengals. They went on a stretch where they played 3 playoff teams, and they lost to all 3 of them, and then they lost to the Packers. So
yeah,
they can beat certain teams.
Mhm.
I mean, there's a lot of teams. If you haven't realized, it's 32, and there's only 14 going to the playoffs. So there's a lot of teams they can beat, including some maybe that are in the playoffs on a good day.
Yeah,
But
with Tua.
it just seems like their best days are behind them.
Mhm.
They peaked in high school. That's really like what I'm trying to say.
I like that. I like the that they peaked in high school. With Tua, with a very healthy Tua, I think they are a no joke team. But without Tua, it's not happening. Like you said, what you've seen what happens against playoff caliber teams, they just choke it away, man. So
Yeah.
with Tua, no joke. Without Tua, which they are right now, it's a choke. Let's move on to another possible playoff candidate, the Steelers. Choke or no joke, Kyle?
For playoffs, choke.
Yeah.
Yeah, for playoffs, choke.
Yep.
If they happen to get in, it's going to be a one and done scenario. But there's just not enough juice there. Not yet.
Yeah. No juice. No juice worth the squeeze. I agree. They're a choke. Kenny Pickett, probably going to be a good quarterback in the league for the Steelers, for Mike Tomlin. I am kind of hoping they get in the playoffs. It'd be nice for them
It'd
to
be
squeeze
fun.
on in. Yeah, it would be fun for their second year in a row to kind of squeak in, right?
Or the Dolphins with Tua. would
Or
be
the Dolphins with Tua would be fun too. But they're a choke no matter what happens. All right, here we go. We got Bill about to possibly hate us or like us. Probably more hate us. The Giants.
The Giants.
Joke or no joke?
No joke. You got Daniel Jones.
Get
playing out of
the out of here, dude. Get out of here. Bill doesn't even believe you. Even Bill's like, yeah, right.
No, the Giants are going to be one and done.
Yeah, sorry, Bill.
But they should be incredibly proud of what they accomplished this year.
Yeah.
Looks like they have the right coach.
Yeah.
If they decide they were talking about potentially getting Daniel Jones signed next year.
Yeah.
I feel like they could go through a couple year stretch here where they're just a little bit above mediocrity.
Yeah.
But in order to, take that next step, like I said, as long as there's teams playing with Joe Burrows and, all the rest, like Daniel Joneses aren't going to cut it.
No, even with Saquon, these guys are a choke. It doesn't matter. The Giants are. Sorry, Bill. And even Bill's saying, I'm already dreading it. He's already dreading the game. This was me in 2020 or 2021 when the Bears had a wild card against the Saints. And I was like, it's the playoffs, anything can happen. But in the back of my head, I'm like, they're going to get absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
Bill's saying that if we go up against the Vikings in the wild card first, we can beat them. Then we'll go out. Okay, I like the realism there, Bill. But let's move on to our next team, the Eagles. I'm going no joke here for the Eagles.
Yeah,
I think
no
it's
joke.
pretty easy. It's no joke, especially with a healthy Jalen Hurts. If the injury lingers into the playoffs, it's going to be tough. But if he's healthy, no joke, Eagles.
Yeah, no joke. Eagles are very, very good when they're healthy. So
yeah. Let's move on to the Cowboys. Choke or no joke? Kyle, where are you going? Because I feel like this is a good one. This is a good contentious one. I think to debate between the NFL. Choke or no joke? Cowboys, Dak Prescott, Tony Pollard, Ezekiel Elliott, CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons. You're still going choke?
I'm going choke, and
Okay.
it has nothing to do. I think there are so many quarterbacks that if they have this roster would be, I mean, if you put Aaron Rodgers or Jalen Hurts or any of these quarterbacks,
Justin
I don't
Fields.
think Dak Prescott's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
And the stats show that when he throws it over a certain amount of times, they end up losing a lot of their games.
Yep.
And great quarterbacks win most of their games that they're airing it out. He makes questionable decisions.
He's the opposite.
He's tied the league high in interceptions, and he missed 6 games. And they're reckless with the ball. They're hit or miss. They're not dependable.
Yeah.
And you're talking about the playoffs. No.
Yeah. I think I have to go choke as well. And I think Richard agrees with us for the Cowboys. Choke. Unless you're talking about the Giants, but let us know, Richard. I'm going choke for the Cowboys too. It's just the Cowboy way. I think in my mind, it's the Cowboy way to kind of just get there, give Dallas hope, possibly get the number 1 seed if they can take the East. But it's just the Cowboy way to choke, and I'm going choke too. So
Yeah.
I don't think there's too much discussion here. Next team, we have the Chargers. Choke or no joke for the Chargers?
Choke.
Okay.
I'm going to go choke. I think Justin Herbert is an elite quarterback.
Yep.
So that gives him a good chance. But I'm going to go choke, and I'm going to use the experience because Justin Herbert has never been to the playoffs, and he's never been to anything like a national championship. So this is when the experience to me does matter.
Okay.
So I'm going to go definitely with a choke for the Chargers.
I think I'm going to go choke as well. I don't think they have enough on the defensive side, and they have a lot of good names on the defensive side of the ball. I just don't think that they are like Khalil Mack, for instance, right? Big name when the Bears picked him up back in 2018.
Yeah.
Big name.
Huge.
Guy that you fear. Now, yeah, sure, he's still having a good season, but not someone that you're like absolutely dreading to play against. He's lost a step. He's getting older. Is what it is. If I saw him on the Bears, I'd love him. But I mean, there's no denying that he has lost a step. He's gotten a little older. He's no longer the fierce Khalil Mack that he was when he won Defensive Player of the Year with the Raiders.
Yeah.
And had great seasons with the Bears with. So I'm going choke as well. And it's another thing, like with the Cowboys, the Chargers just do this all the time.
They do. They
So,
Charger.
Yeah, exactly. One team that could possibly make it, the Seahawks. Choke or joke? 1, 2, 3. Choke. Choke 100%. Geno Smith doesn't have enough for anything. Kenneth Walker would be an awesome addition to the playoffs. It'd be awesome to see the rookie in the playoffs, but that team doesn't have enough on either side of the ball to make it interesting.
Agreed.
Next team up, the 49ers. 1, 2, 3. No joke. I only say this because I know we're both going to have the same one. No joke for the 49ers. Real quick, we have Richard in here. Chargers choke because they're cursed. Exactly what I'm saying, man. 49ers, so good. The defense is good. The offense is good. The special teams is probably still really good.
Yeah, this is a Super Bowl team potentially.
I think so too.
Greatest sports story ever if Brock Purdy wins the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. We talked about the Mr. Irrelevant thing.
Yeah, he's the Jeremy Lin of the NFL.
Except Jeremy Lin didn't win a championship.
Yeah.
But he could be the Brock Purdy to many other people in the future.
Yeah, the Tom Brady thing's not going to be cool anymore.
It's not. It really isn't. It really isn't. It's going to be like, dude, Brock Purdy. But it would suck if he was like, if he won one Super Bowl and then came next year and just fell off.
That would suck.
Like hard fell off.
It's
He'd still have a Super Bowl though. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, there would be memes like Tom Brady's drafted in the 6th round and it's gonna be like hold my beer, and then Brock Purdy.
Yeah. Making San Francisco Brock hard, baby.
So Brock hard.
So Brock hard. I'm
Brock hard. Just talking about it.
as we both
cross our legs
over. All right, we have got 2 more, and this is a Sunday Night Football game.
Yep.
2 possible candidates for the playoffs. Let's go with the Lions first. If they make it to the playoffs, Kyle, choke or no joke?
If they make it to the playoffs, I'm going to say for both these teams, no joke.
Both of these teams, no joke. Okay.
I'm going to say, when they have their defense playing in top 15, they're really hard to beat.
Yeah.
If their defense regresses to doing what they did against the Panthers, which looked like the defense of week 1 through 6, 30th ranked.
Yeah.
They're a joke, but we've seen this team go from that to a 15th ranked offense. And then they go on these 6-game winning streaks. They come within 3 points, beating Buffalo on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
There's no reason that if everything's going right, that this should be a joke team. Or a choke team.
So I'm going to go. This one's a little tough for me. The Lions have Goff, have a lot of good weapons. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Williams, Swift. They have a lot of good offensive weapons. I think if they get into the playoffs, they are no joke. I think if the Packers, though, get into the playoffs and go up against the 49ers, they're kryptonite.
Yeah.
They're a choke.
Ooh.
But I think if we have Aaron Rodgers
Versus Brock Purdy, I'm going to take the Packers.
I still think I'd take the 49ers. I still think I'd take the 49ers in that one. So I think both of these teams are no joke unless the Packers go up against the 49ers. Then it's like, oh,
They're done.
May as well give it to the 49ers. There,
Yeah.
so.
I think everybody's hoping that the
Yep.
seeding changes this week.
Yeah. See, even Richard's got it. Niners own us. They really do. And so last year in the playoffs, when
But the Niners never.
you're right. They
They never
found
had
out.
this.
They've never gotten the glove. What last year when Robbie Gould, former Bear, by the way, beat the Packers on a last-second field goal or last-minute field goal, whatever it was, I donated to his charity for that.
Yeah, because
100%,
it's the
and tons
closest
of
you'll
people
ever
did.
see to the Bears beating the Packers.
It is. It is, unfortunately. Oh man, and it's so sad. It's so sad. All right, well, that was Choke or No Joke from Kyle and I. This was the I guess the final episode for predictions on the regular season NFL season for 2022. We did it. We did a
it was
season.
real.
We did
It was
it.
real.
And again, like Kyle said, real Richard, your hate is real. Oh, it is so real. You don't know. And like Kyle said, we started this in, I believe, April or even a little bit before that.
It was
Before
before
the
the
draft.
draft.
Yeah, so sometime in April,
It's like
sometime
March.
probably I want to
Yeah.
say sometime in April.
Was it April?
Yes, it was April.
Because I remember our first episode was talking about Rodgers maybe coming to Denver.
Yes, so it was because they were like, oh, maybe they trade a pick,
Yeah.
they trade for Rodgers. So we started this a little, almost a year ago. Really, it's almost April. We got like 3-ish more months. But like Kyle said, thanks to you guys who are in the chat, who are subbing, who are always on when we are going live, who are there during the live streams for games. Really appreciate you guys kind of staying with us throughout these last few weeks. But without you guys, it wouldn't be as fun. Although Kyle and I would still be wearing these helmets.
Yeah.
Kyle would still be emerging from the bottom with like a beer in hand or something like that, and Q. So we really want to thank you guys for doing that. But thank you again. We've made it through a regular season. We will be streaming some games this weekend as well.
Yes,
And
all of them.
All of them. All through the playoffs as well. Possibly Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Possibly Super Bowl.
That's like our Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl is like our Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I will tease one thing. I will have my dog picking playoff winners. That's Kyle's dog, but I also have a dog. I think you guys saw him on the last live stream episode that we did. So we're going to be doing some fun content for you guys. So stay tuned for that. But Kyle, do you have anything else before we get out of here?
No, that's all I got. Make sure you go follow me at FTBL Only Podcast on Twitter. Go ahead and follow so you can see all my updates, mostly just depressing Broncos news and the current hunt right now between between Jim Harbaugh and
Sean Payton.
Sean Payton.
And
So that's the best thing we have right now. We've already distracted ourselves to positive stuff.
Oh yeah. And you can follow me at And Now Rick, where you could kind of see me hoping for the number 1 pick, or at least the top 2 pick for the Bears, because again, that's all we got going for us. And follow us on Twitter at _Star6 Media. We just started this Twitter a couple of weeks ago, but anything else, look down at the ticker below. You can follow us at Star6 Media on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, and Facebook. And we always turn a lot of these, especially during the week, our Mondays and Wednesday episodes, into podcasts. So go listen on Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever you listen to podcasts, just in case you miss the live stream. Also, check out our other shows. We got EAFP for soccer, Big League Chicago, where I cover everything Chicago sports, Sports Strip Live for boxing, MMA, wrestling. You got 3 Up, 3 Down for baseball. You got Slot Shot for hockey, and you got JCA, which is on right now after us. So go tune in there for all national sports media coverage. But other than that, Kyle, it was a good time. Richard, you take care as well. Bill, you have a good one as well.
Love you guys.
All right, guys.
See ya.
See ya.